Welcome to today's daily devotion. We're in the last part of this really difficult section, Revelation chapter 12 through to the beginning of chapter 15, with all these weird and wonderful images. We go to something new next week. Our passage today is Revelation 14, 6 to 20, and it contains one of the most disturbing images in the whole of the book of Revelation. You have a look at it. Maybe you've read it already. It's verse 20, and it has much too much blood and gore for us to be comfortable with. We'll come back to that a little bit later. But it also has one of the more quoted verses in Revelation and a word of great encouragement to God's people. Blessed are those who die in the Lord. Blessed are the dead, those who die in the Lord. Verse 13. And that reminds us that the worst thing that can happen to us is not death. And if we patiently endure, even through death, there's a great reward, a great blessing for God's people. So be encouraged by that even today. This passage talks about 6 angels and the Son of Man. And the angels are declaring the gospel. They're declaring the gospel to the world. And it's possible, probable maybe, that these angels are angels from heaven. But remember, the word angel means messenger. So this could be a reference to you and me in our work of being a witness for the gospel in the world. But the focus of the angel's message is not the way we normally tell the gospel. And that might be a challenge to us in what we normally talk about. The focus here is the first angel, fear God, because the hour of judgment has come. The second angel, fallen is Babylon the Great. The third angel, if anyone worships the beast, they will drink the wine of God's fury. The focus is on judgment, isn't it? The focus is on evil being judged. And if we make evil decisions, if we are part of Babylon, if we are follow the beast and fall under his dominion, then there are consequences to those choices and to those actions. Part of the gospel message, part of the good news, is that God defeats evil. God punishes evil. And we'll see that he does that, of course, through the work of Jesus on the cross. But it's an encouragement to us, a challenge to us to endure patiently, to keep following the Lord even when it's hard, even unto death, because such people are blessed. We need to recognize that God's judgment is good news. Our gospel message is that evil doesn't get the last word. Evil is punished. And if we get punished for saying that in the evil world, then Revelation surprises us by saying, don't worry, you're still blessed. That's the first half of this passage. The second part focuses on reaping and sickles. The Son of Man reaps, the angels reap with the sickle. Jesus is the Son of Man. We've seen that already in Revelation chapter 1. And here he's given a sickle and he's invited to reap the harvest, to reap his harvest. He reaps salvation for all those who believe in the gospel. If you are part of God's family, then when the great day of judgment comes, you will be reaped and given the gift of salvation. But it's also a reaping of grapes by a sickle. And there's talk there of blood, and there's talk there of God's wrath. And some people think that that's a reference to judgment, and others that that's also part of salvation. And I suspect that it's the latter. You see, when there's talk here of the reaping of grapes and the reaping of blood, it's a reference, there's a clear reference to going outside of the city. And that should cause us to remember that Jesus went outside the city when he died on the cross. And so how does God save us? How are we able to be part of the great reaping unto salvation? We are able to be part of that because Jesus has died for us, because he has taken the wrath of God upon himself so that we don't have to, so that we can be saved. And that is the good news of the gospel. That is the good news of salvation, and it's the good news that is given to us in this passage. It's rather a weird and wonderful way of saying it, and the fact that there is so much blood probably means that there's enough blood for everybody, which is really good news, even if it's quite gory. As I said, a very strange way, a very novel way of explaining the gospel, but this is Revelation. We shouldn't be surprised by that. But it is good news. Do you believe it? Have you put in your faith in Jesus? Will you be part of that great gathering when that sickle passes through the crop? I hope you will. God bless you. See you next week.